Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. So today I thought we would finish up our little journal that we started. If you'll remember, it's a little 5x7, and this was the paper that we were using. It's by Graphics 45. Now, I just have this in my hand. I swear to you I did. Here it is. I covered it up. It is by Graphics 45, and it's called Sunshine on My Mind. And I'm using the 8x8 collection pack. So I have the paper, and I have some of the ephemera that goes with it. And I just love it, love it. And I wanted to grab a pen here, just in case my glue has decided, to take a holiday. Just in case. You know how glue is. I don't know that it has, but I want to be on the safe side. So, I hope your day is going well, and I hope you've had a chance to play in your journals and add some fun ephemera, make some things, watch some videos, get some ideas, because boy, oh boy, have I ever. We traveled recently, my husband and I, and we took the boys with us. For the first time in a very long time, we took the boys with us. Now, it was one of these little pages like this, and you can cut, let me show you. Of course, I want to show you, and I can't find it. It's one of these little pages, and you can cut it out, and it can be a little postcard. Well, I'm going to use it as a little pocket, and I'm going to put it on one of these coffee dyed pages. Now, you can, of course, ink these up if you want, with your favorite ink color. Oh, let me get the ink. Let me get my glue down there. You can ink it up with your favorite ink color if you want. I think on this paper, a pretty green would look nice. One of the pretty pinks would look nice. One of the softer reds would look nice. Or you could even go with, your favorite vintage photo. Totally and completely up to you. Totally up to you. Now, I am going to put something over here on this green that's supposed to look like a watermelon rind. But I'm going to put one of these graphics on it. And on the back, it shows you. And I'm going to use the back of this to make a tag. But I want to use one of these to make, to decorate this page. I just haven't decided which one yet, because that is so bright and green. Here, that's the one I think I wanted. I think I want to use one of these and make a little tuck with it. I think that's the way it goes. No, maybe it goes this way. And now I do want to ink this one because this green kind of fades into the rest of the green like this. I do want to ink that up a little bit, and I am going to just slide off into my vintage photo world and just use my vintage photo. Now, in this big palette, I have hickory smoke, I have vintage photo, and then down here, I've got ground espresso and black soot. Now, I don't want to get really dark like with the ground espresso. The hickory smoke might look nice, but you guys know me. I'm a vintage photo kind of girl. Now, what is that? Oh, that must have been caught from my eyelid. Now, I'm not going to do it dark. I'm just going to pounce it a little bit. Because I just want it to show up, around the edges. So I'm just pouncing a little bit. See, I'm just pouncing. Just taking my dauber, and I'm just pouncing the edges, trying to be really careful. Kind of get in there. These are a little bit thicker of a cardstock, but they will still bend. So I'm just kind of pouncing a little bit. Trying to get a little bit of color, but, I don't really want to, I don't want a lot. I just want a little bit. So tea dye would look good on it. You know, and there are going to be some places that I don't have color, and that's okay. Tea dye might look good on this. And I do have tea dye. All right, so let's see how that works. Yeah, that kind of makes it stand out a little bit. Except I think the watermelon goes this way. Now I want to use this as a little tuck. So I want to scoot it over, but I want to make sure that it's not getting caught. So if that means my flower sticks out a little bit, that's all right. I have room for it because I cut these cardstock pages a little bit smaller than the rest of the pages. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to glue. I'm going to start here at that little pink flower, and I'm going to glue down from there. Okay, so my little pink flower starts here. So I'm going to glue from there. Maybe I am. There we go. So I'm going to glue from there. I'm going to come all the way across. I'm going to pick up that leaf, and I'm going to come all the way down, pick up these leaves, because I want to make sure that it's stuck. Just get a little in there. And then get this down here. And I'm just going to twist it and turn it to make sure that that gets stuck and give myself a little tuck. Okay, now remember, the important thing to remember is you don't put anything behind it until your glue is dry. Okay? Now, don't put anything behind it yet. Now, they do have in here, now if you want to keep with your theme, they do have things that cut out as little, what are these things called? Let me think for a minute. Stamps. So you could add a little stamp on here. You could pull out other little things as labels from your stash. We don't need a knife. You could go on and create your tag while that's drying. You could take some of the other ephemera pieces. You could also take, they also have little tiny pieces that you can cut for trim pieces that you could take and put, you know, across the top to decorate your page. And there was one I wanted to put across there because I want to break up some of this green. And I want to use this one. So I want to put this one across there. Let's see, that one won't work though. So that one didn't work. Which, that one is the same one. It says summer is a season and it has the ladybug on it. Let's see if that one works. Summer is me season. Can you read that? And it has ladybugs on it. So if I cut it between there and there, I could put that in the middle. Doesn't work the way I thought it would. Okay. Now where's the other one? Okay, so we could trim this across the bottom and get these little scallops. Let's see how they work. No, too much green because that's got that scallop down there. So what's on the back here? Oh, now I like that. That breaks it up, but still too much green. All right, we're going back to the little guys. We're just going back to this. We're going to put, oops, it's upside down. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be upside down, does it? Oh, and it even has the ladybugs on it. All right, so we're going to put some of this across here. Now, with that, I'm going to add, I had a little tiny piece. Now, I played with this after our first video. I had a little piece of this out. And I wanted to put a piece of this and then this over top of it. And I played with it and I wasn't sure if I liked it. So let's see if I like it any better now that I've got the other piece on there. So if we put that there, if we make this one piece, I didn't mind it like this. I didn't mind it like that. Okay, I do kind of like that. So let's cut these pieces to fit. So let's measure these out here. They kind of remind me of a little summer banner. All right, so we're going to cut it right here. Now, before I do this, I wanted to round the corners of these pages just a little tiny bit, just to make them look different. So, just to make them different, these cardstock pages, like this, I'm just using the smallest. Like my corner rounder has 4 mil, 7 mil, 10 mil. So on my cardstock pages that are coming from my book or from my paper pack, I'm just using this 4 mil, and I'm rounding these just to make them look a little bit different. You know, just a little. Oh, here it is. Just a little bit. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Now here it is. And then we're going to glue this as one unit before we put it on the page. So let's put this together. Let's measure this out. Let's move this out of the way here. And let's bring this out. Okay, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac on this. Okay. And I'm going to just run a little bead of Fabri-Tac right across the top of it, on that open part right there. Just a little tiny bead. Just like that. Oops. Turn around here, you. And then I'm going to take my paper, and I'm just going to use the bottom edge of it. And I'm just going to lay it. Now, I'm running it past it just a little bit. And I'm trying to keep it straight, which is easier said than done at this point, because this little guy is just all wiggly. He is just wiggly, wiggly. There we go. Just like that. You know, kind of making it look like a little banner. There we go. Now let's straighten this edge up. And let's straighten that edge up. And let's straighten this up. Now let's take a look at the front. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to trim. Oops, just closed my book. I'm going to trim this off. Now let's put this lace away. Now let's open this back up. And then we're going to put this right across the top here. Okay, now it doesn't go all the way to the end for some reason, because we just measured it and it did. Why in the world isn't it now? That makes absolutely no sense. All right, so we're going to make sure it's in the middle. And we'll just put something else over there. Or we'll move this over and we'll put something else on this side. I don't know why in the world that doesn't fit now. What the heck? All right, so we'll scoot this. I'm just going to run a bead of glue here. And I'm going to put this over here on the end. And I'm going to put that there. Oops. Just like that. Now I'm going to let this sit for a minute. Before I do anything else, I'm just going to let this sit for a minute. Now, I probably should have put some glue under the lace. Yeah, I can move it, so let's do that. Let's put a little more glue here on top of that lace too. Okay. think I'm going to put it right there because I have an idea of what I want to put on the edge. But I do want to make sure I'm not hitting. Okay, my lace isn't hitting the spine there, so I'm good. Now, I'm going to put one of my little pink clamps here to hold this in. Let's put that right there. Whoops, I am so sorry. To hold that down right there while that dries. Now, when that dries, oops, I need one on my end. Right there. All right. Now, I'm going to let that dry. Now, I think this might be dry. I can show you our little tuck. So, we can put one of our little cards in there. And then we have a little pocket for in there. Okay? And if you want these inked, you could ink them. Now, back here, I want to make, now, those are going to be kind of in the way, but I want to make a little side. So we have these little cutoffs. Okay, now this is going to be a pocket over here, except back here is where I wanted it. Where did I want it? Back here. I wanted this one back here. I like the red against this. So I'll mark that spot. And up here, I'm going to take right here in the middle. Is this the middle? Right here. I'm going to take this and I want to make here. And I think this is low enough. I'm going to make a layered right there. I want to make this a layered side tuck. Okay. So the top layer is going to be smaller than the bottom layer. And then the bottom layer, since we weren't able to use this, let's see how much we can use this part. Yeah, we'll put that on there. Okay, so let's measure this out. So all three of these will be the same length. So we'll just use the bottom one for length. Let me grab my pencil. Yeah, I just love little journals like these. They're quick, they're easy, they make fun little gifts. I made one similar to this for my friend Paula a couple of years ago for the fall. And that was fun. Except I used a different technique for the front of it. Okay, so this is going to be the main pocket. This will be a smaller pocket on top. It's just going to be a small little like belly band pocket. It's going to go like this. And it's going to be like a belly band. And this is just going to be a decorative touch on it. So this is going to get cut to the same length. Okay, so this is going to get cut to the same length, both of these pieces. Okay, where's my mark? It's right there. Make sure that is lined up correctly. Now where's my mark? There it is, right there. Right there. Okay. Now, I want to do a small round on these corners. Just a little one. Okay, I didn't get that in there very well. And I went around these 4 corners. And again, I'm just using the 4 mil that's on here. Now this one, I think I'm just going to leave alone. Now, let's start making our layers. I'm going to put this on first, and I'm going to put it right down the middle. It actually just serves, it's not going to serve any purpose. Now you could make it a purpose. You could make it another little belly band if you wanted. A little mini, okay, I can't say it. A little mini belly band if you want it. But I'm just going to make mine a decorative piece. So I'm just going to glue mine right down the middle. Now let's just pray I get mine right down the middle and go in the right direction. So I'm going to line mine up. And let's put it right there. And straight up. And it looks pretty straight to me. Hallelujah. Okay, hold on guys. I need to take a little sip of coffee here. Ooh, that's been sitting there way too long. Okay. Now, this is our other piece. Now, this is the squared side, so I know it goes over here. And I just want to touch up the edges here a little bit. I haven't even added any more ink or oxide or whatever you call it to these. I'm just touching up the edges. Now, since it's so deep, I do want to add just a little tiny baby, just a little baby one. I don't want a big one, just in case, you know, something gets in there and it kind of gets fallen, you know, or not fallen, kind of in case it gets, you know, a little further down than what it needs to be. So this, I also want to add to the middle. So let's go on and get the glue on it. Now remember, this is a little baby belly band. So I'm just going to add glue at the top and at the bottom. And again, I'm going to shoot for the middle. Okay. Now let's put this away. Let's get you in there. Okay. Now we're going to put this down. Now we're going to put this in just like a regular pocket. I'm going to glue across here, down here, and across here. Okay. Now I'm going to use the smallest bead of glue I possibly can. Okay. Just a little tiny bead. Okay, that's about the smallest bead I think I can come up with. Now, if you want to decorate this any more than what we already have, you feel free. Now, I need to make sure I'm not trying to glue this to another page. There we go. Now I'm going to pull this down, and I think I have it up too far. I do. I'm trying to glue it to the back page. So I need to move it down. I am trying to glue it to the back page. Oops, it doodles, that's not right. Now where did my... Okay, I'm going to have to get the glue off of that page. Okay, let's make sure you're down. Make sure you're not sticking up. Get the glue off back there. push this down. Okay, I got it over just a little bit too far. All right, so I've got a little pocket here. I've got a belly band here. And that's just decoration. So I need to let this dry before I can put anything in it. So let's go on and take our clips off here. I think this is probably dry enough. I'm still going to be really careful with it before I do anything else up there. Because that lace is making it a little thick. So I am going to be really careful with it. All right, so I'm going to let that one dry before I do anything. So over here, so I'm going backwards a little bit. I'm coming back. So we did that one. I'm going to let it dry. So I'm coming back here. So back here, we have this floral page. Now, I'm not going to decorate all the pages in here because, you know, you might want to write on them. You might want to do something else on them. Now, this is the center of the book, okay? And this is one of the patterns that's in the center of the book. So what I want to do on the back of this, besides round these corners here, whoops-a-doodles, I want to do the little baby round up here and down here. Okay, on this piece right here, I'm thinking I want to do this as a little tuck, just like we did on the other side. I think that's the one I wanted. Let me double check it. I'm pretty sure that was the one I wanted. Oh, nope. Yeah, because the other side I want to do this one. On the back side, I want to do this as a little tuck. Okay? And I think there's the flower. That little flower is in here. I'm pretty sure that little flower... And that I want to put up there. So that goes there. Now, where did that little flower go? Is that the flower? That's not quite the flower. Where did that little flower go? I thought that little flower was in here. Maybe we used it. All right, somebody yell at me if you see that little flower sitting here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Now, I want to take this little flower. Let's see. Oh, it's backwards. What you goofy thing? Because I wanted to put this little flower up there, but they have this going the other direction. Well, fiddle-dee-dee. Well, that just popped my bubble. Didn't it pop your bubble too? It popped mine. Is that it? No, but boy, that sure is cute. Okay, well, I don't see it. So I've either used it or I was imagining things. Okay. Okay, well, I want this down here. Oh, wait, I want to ink this up just a little bit. Especially around the bottom here. Okay, so this little tuck is going to go here. Now, I'm going to glue, see right about where that line is there, that's the back of the fruit stand. We're going to glue from there down. That'll give us plenty of room as a tuck. And then across the top, we're going to put that. Now, up there, no, I think I want to save that for, up there. Okay. So let's see, where does that start? Right about there. So I'm just going to take it straight across and then down. Just like that. So that'll anchor it to the page. Okay. Just like that. So I'm using the lines on the page to make sure that that little melon and that basket right there that are the same are lined up together. Because they're the same on the page. And come here, you. Okay, that's going on the other page over there. Let's see. Maybe we'll use this with the basket or the balloon. Okay, so we're going to take these little strawberries. Okay. Get out there. Come on. You're sticking to everything. Okay, we're going to put that across the top. Oops, I forgot to do this. Okay, I'm just going to put that right there. Okay, now on this side, I want this little tuck, but I want it up here at the top. It is a balloon after all. Okay, I want him up here. Now down here, I want this guy. Now where did that... Here, where did it go? That little tag that we found. Where did that little tiny tag go? Because we're going to put that on there. Here it is. This little tag. We're going to add that little tag on there. Right there with a little Brad. Unless I change my mind here in like the next 20 seconds. Yeah, see, the bicycle's too big. We figured that out last week. So maybe we'll put that up there. Now, where's our... Oh, here. Here's our little ladybug. But something needs to be down here, doesn't it? All right, so maybe we'll have 2 tucks on this page. We'll have our balloon up here. We'll have our easy peasy summer breezy down here. Okay, I think that's what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to do the balloon, and we're going to glue from right here in these indents, right here. So I think actually I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go right below them. Okay, so I do want to put that right there. So that would be able to hold something like one of these little cards. Something that, you know, if you wanted a tag to stick out, it could stick out. This would be able to hold something a little bit bigger that could stand up. Come on. Oops, it's almost empty. Because it has room to stand up against the balloon. Wait a second, I'll show you what I mean. So that can go there. So if you do something like up here, okay, so like when I cut these apart, this tall one could stand in here. And it would stand against that balloon. But if I want something in the balloon that didn't stand up, see, that one stands out of my journal. But if I put it there, it's okay because it hits the balloon. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to depend on how you want your journal to look. Now, if you want, you can take these. They have little tiny tags also. You could add little tiny tags into your books. Now, the very first page we did that we had to let dry, this is what I want to add to this page. I want to create this little tag to put there. So we will do that. So these are the little tiny tags. All right. So we're going to let that page dry. Or those 2 pages dry. Now, in the center here, I haven't really quite decided yet. But I think what I want to do... Now, this is too big. And, but these are not. But I really like this background, this red checked background. And I really like this background. So I was thinking I would just use this because I have some red checked background. I might still have some of it. And I have the green background, which this is on the other side of it. Okay, where is it? Here it is. There's the red checked. So I was thinking the red checked, and it has that on the back side. The green stripe has the melons. And then there's also the seeds, and I really like that. I think that's just very subtle and pretty. And it has all the cards on it, which we already have a lot of cards. So we could use some of that, you know, in the center. Or we go wild and crazy and use the seeds. So many choices. You know, with double-sided paper. You know, that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a bad thing. With double-sided paper is, you know, you have to choose, And, you know, sometimes you lose something, sometimes you gain something. It's, it's sometimes for me, it's a really, really hard choice. Okay, so in the center, I want to do, all right, let me get these things over here. Now, these on here, these are just little ones. And I do want to use some of those. And on the back is a seed page. So I will cut more of these out. Some, maybe, I'm not really sure. But this page, now on the back of this, unfortunately, is white. Some companies will make the back of their pages so that you can use them. But unfortunately, this company does not. Okay, so let's move some of this stuff out of the way. Now, on this page, I want to have 2 pockets that go across here that you can put, you know, we can decorate with. So, but I don't want them to be really wild and crazy because I really like this paper. So I want to make it out of this. I want to keep it, you know, nice and gentle. So I want it to be this paper. So I need to just cut this paper in half. And I'm not going to worry about the back of it. And since it's 8 by 8, it's just now going to be a 4 by 8. Okay. Okay, so now I have the width that I need for my pockets. Now, I don't want it in the center where my sewing is. So I need to, the best way and the way that I do it is I fold it in half. Because that gives me a good center line. Like this. Okay, so I've just folded it in half. And then I fold it in half again. Because now I know exactly where I need to be. Oh, and I want to go on and round my bottom corners. Because if I don't do it now, I will forget. And this will tell me this is the bottom. Okay, so right here is where it's going to sit. And so if I do just glue it in right now, I have to cut those little wedges out to make this sit. The best way to do this is to either cut it in half, make 2 separate pockets, or you can leave it like this. I do have in some journals, I've just left it like this and added another pocket on top of it and just cut that little wedge out. I don't want to do this in this little journal because it's just too small. So I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to cut right smack on that fold line. Okay, I've just cut right smack dab on that fold line. Now, to keep my line straight, I'm going to put it in my paper cutter, and I am just cutting, literally, I am cutting maybe 1/8 of an inch off of that page, and I'm going to do the exact same on this page, because the only amount of paper I want off is enough to keep it out of the fold of my signature. Now, I am going to have to make that angled cut at the bottom. And I will show you that in just a moment. Okay, this is my bottom. Okay, see, I'm not touching my signature on either of them. So I can check it. I can check my paper. Am I touching? No. Am I touching on this side? No. Okay, so I might not have to do that. All right, so now what other pocket do I want to do here? I can choose another. I can choose any paper from this paper pack I want because they all coordinate together. That's the best thing about paper packs. I know I want to use this piece someplace. or I can use it on that side because I know it coordinates with it. So let's see if I have any other 4-inch pieces anyplace. I can use that piece, or I can turn, oh, that would be fun, wouldn't it? I can use that piece, and it's folded in half. So I could use a piece on each side. I could put it like that someplace. So what other pieces do I have? I have that piece. I have that piece. Now these are all small pieces, but I could, I could stack them. I could do stacked pockets. I could go like this all the way up this piece. Now I'm going to have to trim these that I'm putting on there, but I could use them, and I have that piece. I don't want to use that because it matches. Okay. So I could do that, or I could switch it around. What's back here? No, I don't want that. That's too bright. No, I don't want that. Do I want that? No, I don't want that. Okay, what other ones do I have over here left over in my stash? Okay, so I think maybe this one, and maybe, what's back here? Yeah, I really don't want that one. It's just too bright. Okay, so let's see. One. I think I want that in the middle. And then that. I think I want it like that. That's how I want my pockets to be. Now I have to trim these other 2 pieces. I think that's what I want them to look like. That one is not my favorite. But I don't want any more green. Unless we put the green at the bottom. No. Oh, what about that one? Now, I like that one, but I only have one piece of it. Well, we could use this on one side, maybe that on the other. Let's try that and see. Let's see. Let's see how we like it. Okay, so if we have that on the bottom, and then this one, okay, I like that. So if we have this and this, and then on this side, we could put, I don't think we have any more of the paper with the rose on. Oh, we do. I hate to just cut a little tiny piece of it. I wonder, do we have Okay, time to be creative. Time to be creative. Let's see if we have one of those little stamps that has the flower on it. All right, let's find the stamps. You're not a stamp. You're not a stamp. All right, let's find the stamps. That's the little page that I told you we cut apart. Now see, that could go across the bottom to break it up, and that has the same in that. So I could use that on that side. And then we could put a ladybug up there. Okay, I'm not finding stamps anywhere. Where did they go? I know they're here somewhere. All right, I'm liking that so far. Oh, here they are. No, the stamps do not have them. There's the stamps. And up on the top of that one, where's one of those little tags? Where did they go? We could put that little tag. We could mount that little tag before we put that down. Or we have... Oh no, he kind of blends in, doesn't he? He just kind of blends in. There's the 3 stamps. I do like these though. But there's not a strawberry on anywhere else on the page. So let's see. We could add this. No. Okay. No, I think that'll work. And maybe move the ladybug over here to kind of even out the decorating. Okay, I think that's what we'll do. All right, so let's get let's get this. All right, so we need to round our corners first of our pages, of our little pockets. So let's do that. Okay, so of these 2, we need to round these outside corners. I guess I didn't need to do that one, did I? Okay, so they're going there. This one is this side, right there. That one doesn't need rounded. Okay, so now let's do just a smidgen of inking on here. Just a smidgen, so everything shows up a little bit better. Okay, we're going to start with you, little man. Okay, and so I'm going to put you right there. Yeah, I don't want to lose things, because I will. You know I will. Okay, so there's that one. And there's that one. Okay, we already did these. So let's go on and get these little pockets on this page. So let's see. These 2 need to go together. All right, so they're getting layered this way. They're going like this. Let's make sure it's straight. Okay, now just going to put it on here. Oops, need to get it down there. Okay. And then, oops, see, I already lost him. And then this little guy. Oh dear. I hope I have enough glue in here. This little guy is just going to sit right there and just be a little cute patoot. Okay, so there's that one. Now this one. Okay. We're just moving right along here. Okay. Okay, so where's that little center strip we were going to use? Oops, I think I need a new pad. This one and this one. Here it is. That one. Okay, we moved the ladybug. Okay, so let's go on and get these two together. That's the bottom. Okay. Now let's get these two on here. Whoops, a doodles. Okay, let's line these up. And I just use my mat when I do this to help me make sure they're straight. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You guys have seen me do this and sometimes it doesn't. Now I'm going to use this as a little pocket also. And I'm just going to glue the regular 3 sides on this. Sides and the bottom. And I'm just using a really thin strip of glue on it because it's really small. And I'm just going to put it kind of right across the, not at the bottom, but kind of up here, right above the bottom. And then I'm going to put this on. Maybe. Yep, my bottle's just about empty. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here, and going on and rounding my corners has really helped me make sure that this is where it needs to be. You know, not that way I'm not gluing things in the wrong spot. It's not keeping me from getting stuff on my mat, but it is keeping me from gluing things in the wrong spot. Okay, so I'm done with you. Now, let's glue things on our pages. So, now let's make sure that oops, I didn't trim this. So let's go on and trim all this. There we go. So we are trimmed. Now let's go on and trim across the bottom because I didn't get it up high enough all the way. Get off of there. Okay. Now let's check the other side. Okay, so this one's going to go here. And because we rounded those corners of this, I know exactly where it's going to fit. Now, this is going to go. Now, remember, oops, I need 2 little baby punch at the top. Actually, I'm going to do a bigger punch like that, because this is a pretty good sized pocket on its own. Okay, so doing the three sides. There we go. I'm going to line up my corners. And because we pre-trimmed everything, we measured it, I'm not interfering with my spine. Now I'm going to check the back of this one also, make sure I don't need to trim anything. Nope. Got my ladybug on there. Oops, need to punch up here. Okay. Make sure I've got everything how I want it. This is easier to do it before you glue it down than after you glue it down. Now, if there's anything else you want to put on the page after you glue this down, you can decorate it after you glue it down. Okay, so line up your corners. Okay, so now we've got 3 big pockets on both sides. Now remember, nothing goes in your pockets until after they've dried or you've just glued them inside your pockets. And yeah, you do glue them in your pockets. I have done that. I've gone back to journals I've made in the past and, tried to take things out and they won't come out. And it's like, wonder why these little things won't come out. And then I've realized I haven't waited long enough to put them in. So I've got a pocket here. Got a pocket here. Then I've got one here that goes all the way to the bottom. A smaller one here. And then a little tiny one here. Over here I have something similar. I've got one here. One here goes all the way to the bottom of the page. And then one here. So for this little tiny one, I could put a little stamp in there like that. Like that. And I probably will. I could even put one that stands up. Or one of those little cards that I told you I can cut out one of these. It can go in there. In the bigger pockets, these can go in, that match there. Here's one of the bigger pockets. Now, it won't fit in there. It has to go, into a bigger journal. But that one can go in there. Or this one can go in there. This one, or that one can go in there. That one can go in there. That can go in there. That can go in there. So now all of our pockets have something in them. And it didn't take very long to make. Now back here, we have these 2 tucks. So in our little tucks back here, we can put that one right there. And up here, I would probably, if it's me, I am most likely going to put something that is nice and fun. I am going to put something, I'm going to put something that doesn't stick out is what I'm going to do. But like I said, that's just me. I'm going to put something that maybe the corner sticks out. Maybe like that. Now let's check out up here. Remember, we have this little belly band up here. Plus we have that little pocket. And then we have up here. Okay, we've already got those. So in this little belly band here, we can also maybe put, that one. So there we go. Oh, I forgot about that one. There, we can put that one. Shoot, I can't get hold of them. And you can put that one. There you go. So we have lots of little pockets and tucks and all kinds of things already in our journal. And if you're going to make something like this and you're going to give it to a friend, you could send the rest of the stuff to them and they could have fun decorating this little journal because, you know, it's already getting a little chunky and they could have some fun decorating it. And out here, you know, they could put some things. You could make a tag to put in there. Remember, that's a pocket. Out here's a pocket. So they could put a tag out here. And this is a tuck. So you could put something out here if you wanted. So there's all kinds of fun ways that you can decorate this little journal and have some fun with it. And don't forget, you can tie it closed with a ribbon. And you can have lots of fun with these little journals. So I encourage you to experiment and have some fun. And, you know, try your hand at one of these, maybe that you haven't done before. Because they're so much fun to play with. Even if you enjoy the traditional junk journals, because I do too. I enjoy those traditional junk journals. But every now and then, I just like playing with these, you know, just to see what I can come up with. And, you know, sometimes I come up with all kinds of different things. Like, I just like playing with them. Just to see what I can do. And, you just never know. You just never know. So, thank you for joining me today. I'm so glad you did. And I'm also so glad to have all my new subscribers here on the Ladybug Journals. A great big ladybug flutter to you. I'm so glad you joined us around the craft table. And I hope that you come back and join us again. And to my longtime subscribers, thank you. I appreciate you also. And I appreciate you sharing and inviting your friends. And until I see you guys again in our next Ladybug Journals video, ta-ta for now.